So yeah, I'm new to Angel of Darkness, with many of you proud fans talking this one up a lot. I was compelled, and I think even more persuaded, to just jump right into this one when it comes to the Core Design games. I have played some of the Core Design games, but never beat any of them. I love the work that is being done with these remasters, wonderful for gaming preservation, along with allowing for fans of any kind of Tomb Raider experience, with her past or even just starting with it, to then access these titles. For me, the Legend Trilogy is where I started, so I am now starting to peer a bit more into her past with these titles. And today, we're going to focus in a bit more on the cult-like status of this one. The more I play it, the more I am all in.
I'm not sure this is the right thing, but I must respect what Werner wanted.
The right choice, mademoiselle.
And now you had better go. The police will be here in a minute.
I think this is kind of telling when it comes to my enjoyment so far with Angel of Darkness, and I haven't even fired a gun yet. I haven't really had any combat. Sure, there were plenty of exciting situations and memorable moments, but in terms of a firefight or something to actually shoot at, I haven't had any of that. I have found stuff and supplies for one, so I'm assuming that it's coming at some point. And you know what? Not having one right now, it's okay. It's not even like I'm missing it either. I am finding a wealth of enjoyment just from navigating the environments, platforming, and then exploration, of course. Angel of Darkness in this remastered form is such a delight for me as a first-timer. I think this might end up being my first Core Design Tomb Raider game that I end up beating. I can't put it down. I know that might sound a little silly to some historical and long-time Core Design fans, but hey, this might be the entry point to give me some more confidence to even go back further. Who knows? Anyway, right now, this is a blast. For a big part of this video, I wanted to discuss the more hub-like section that I just encountered. So after the exciting opening chapters, the game sort of slows down in a good way, where you are then dropped into more of an open environment by being on the streets. It's here where I feel like both playing a Tomb Raider game and even an adventure RPG game in a way. I say this because I was surprised at how there were dialogue options and conversations with NPCs going on here. This is something that I don't think were in the PS1 originals, and they certainly were not in the Legend Trilogy at all. It's very different to see this in a Tomb Raider title, because I feel like at its core, it's you, Lara, in an unknown location, with the player feeling that isolation and trying to then figure it all out. Thinking more on Angel of Darkness, at least right now, I think that feeling of isolation is done in a different way with this title. Instead of being alone in an unknown location, Lara is literally on her own, wanted for murder and not many allies to help her out along the way. It's not like right now she has a companion. Yes, you are in a city, but at the same time, it's not like you aren't already being hunted. In that sense, you are all alone. You are isolated from normal society. It's that sense of isolation, but done in a different yet very engaging way. I kind of feel like it's Lara Croft meets The Fugitive. I guess as a quick tangent, is this something that longtime Tomb Raider fans either like or don't like about this entry? I might explore this more in another video. Like how this title seems to, again, retain classic Lara and tomb raiding, but it's the settings that are largely different, and maybe different approaches to what works with Lara. Like this game is considerably more cinematic than the PS1 games. I think a lot of that is that Core Design trying to take advantage of that jump in tech at the time. Does something like this work for you longtime fans? I am still relatively new to this game, so I don't have the perspective many of you might have, so please share your experiences here with me. So back to the hub, and I am not even done with this section of the game yet. I feel like I'm only just scratching the surface of it, but where the first few levels had that figuring it out type of design with the drive of needing to be chased by the law. Though these sections had a great amount of player choice, and what I call a more linear part of the game. Here in this hub, it's like the developers were like, hey, Let's now expand this further, really increase the scope. When you first enter it, I felt like it was more of a classic Tomb Raider game, but instead of a tomb, it's a street, a rather large urban environment, sort of like a man-made tomb, and yet people are still living there. So you talk to various NPCs to gain information on your main tasks. You essentially know you need to find 2 people to get more leads on what your mentor was after, and maybe more context on his death and all of that. But it is here where I was impressed again with this title. You have direction in the sense that you kind of know what you need to do, but the game is not then spoon-feeding or even directing you on where you need to go. It's almost like being lost in this big area, in a very good way, because now everything is driven by the player's actions. You are choosing where to go, what to check out, and most importantly, what to explore. This can be rather exciting since there are opportunities in this area where you are then seeing what is actually open to you. And this can lead you to having that feeling of going into the unknown. For example, I was kind of surprised where I could go down into the sewers and have a whole new set of areas to check out there. Plus there's a nice mixture of, I wonder if I can get over there right now, or maybe I need a piece of equipment. So I reached this point where it looked like I could make a jump, but it was gonna be tough. I died a few times, but after a few attempts, thank God I was able to save anywhere in this game. I really like that. I actually made the jump. And that sense of accomplishment from just hitting this jump was really cool. I did it, and now I was over here. In this instance, I found a path that I could not proceed with at this time. But upon returning to the same jump, after I went over, I saw that there were parts in the wall that looked like I could climb on them. The game did not tell me I could do this, but I was able to then observe and then deduce that it might be something that could find another secret path or something like that. Through this, I found an item that I presume can be used for bartering with a merchant at some point. I was an urban treasure hunter in this case. Another path led me up to when I popped back out to the outside part, to a more secret area with loads of supplies to grab. Again, stocking up for those firefights that I haven't seen yet, really stretching out that tension. This has been my experience with the city so far. I really like it. Though there are some cracks too, I think they are very telling of the troubled development. So I am impressed with the city, but there is something about it that is a hindrance and a flaw that I imagine was from the troubled development of this title. The city looks very open, and it kinda is, but at the same time it's very chopped up, with many frequent loading points. My guess is that this was done to get this game working on the PS2, and they can occur so often that it actually hurts the flow of the areas at times. Some of it just doesn't make sense. You can load into a rather large area and have some fun gameplay there, especially for a while, and then others are really small and you're hitting another load pretty quickly. There is some of this that I can forgive when it comes to this remaster, because I am sure to really make these to be more of a seamless big area would probably require a lot of work to essentially restructure how the game is then loading in these areas. It's a situation where you can see what the initial developers were going for, but then weren't able to completely do it. But even having said that, it's still impressive from my perspective. Exploration, tension building, and platforming seem to be the big elements of this Tomb Raider title, and I am most certainly engaged with it. Continuing to explore this title is a joy, and I am curious at how things will continue to develop as I press on. So far, I think Angel of Darkness is a special title. Maybe I might still be a bit too early, but I think you can gladly call me a fan. What are your thoughts on all of this? Do you like the more open areas? How does that fit in with your view of this series? Let me know all of this in the comments down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.